What if the Canadian government sent you a check every single month? Not a tax refund, not unemployment, just guaranteed income for everyone. Sounds great, right? But here's the real question. Can Canada actually afford it, or is this just a fantasy? Because depending on who you ask, UBI is either the future of society or completely impossible. And the truth? It's somewhere in the middle. Let's break it down simply. Canada has about 40 million people. If you gave every adult even a modest income, say $15,000 per year, you're suddenly talking about hundreds of billions of dollars annually. That's not small. That's massive. So at first glance, it sounds completely unaffordable. But here's where it gets interesting. Canada already spends huge amounts of money every year on healthcare, pensions, and social programs. So the real question isn't, can we afford UBI? It's how would we restructure what we already spend? Imagine this for a second. Instead of dozens of different programs, you simplify everything. One system, one payment, less bureaucracy, less overhead. Now that doesn't magically solve everything, but it changes the equation. And then there's another piece most people ignore. Canada is rich in resources, like oil minerals and energy. But unlike Norway, we don't have a massive national wealth fund capturing that value. So part of the conversation becomes, did we miss an opportunity? And that leads to a much bigger question, what happens when AI enters the picture? Right now, AI is starting to change the workforce. Companies are doing more with fewer people. Tasks that used to require teams can now be done by software. So what happens if fewer people are needed, but companies are making more money than ever? That creates a gap, a big one. And suddenly UBI isn't just a nice idea, it becomes a possible solution. This is where new ideas come in, like automation taxes, AI profit taxes, and resource-based funds. The logic is simple. If machines are generating wealth, that wealth needs to go somewhere. And one option is back to the people. But let's be real for a second. UBI isn't easy. It requires political agreement, economic restructuring, and long-term planning. This isn't something that happens overnight. But here's the key takeaway. UBI isn't impossible. It's just a different system. And we're slowly moving toward conditions where it becomes more realistic. Because the real shift isn't happening in government first. It's happening in technology. And that brings us to the biggest question of all. What happens when AI starts replacing jobs at scale? Not just a few, but entire industries. That's what we're breaking down in the next video, and it changes everything.